Side of Andante, Blue Bertie and Arboretum. Seeyouincourt jumps the first fence with 2 lengths to spare over Andante. Never forget Poppy in third, Blue Bertie and finally Arboretum. Quickly in second. Well, Blue Bertie made a mistake there. Bill Greaves was airborne for a second or two. He'll need to get his pedals back on the run towards fence number 3. But it's Seeyouincourt, the purple and yellow colours, John Dawson up, then Andante and Jack Teal in the black and white. Never forget Poppy Max Johnson wearing a red cap, Blue Bertie, Phil Greaves in light blue and green, Arboretum then with Chris Dawson, the white, the checked sleeves and cap. Fence number 3, Seeyouincourt, jumped that well, a couple of lengths in front of Andante second, Blue Bertie and Never Forget Poppy sharing third place, and then Arboretum, the favourite, held up at the back by Chris Dawson. The open ditch coming up, Seeyouincourt from Andante and Blue Bertie, Never Forget Poppy and Arboretum. Quickly at fence number 5, Seeyouincourt, Blue Bertie and Andante, no change in the order, with Arboretum and Never Forget Poppy sharing last place, but well in touch as they start to climb towards fence 6. Seeyouincourt making the running, good even tempo. All of them over that. Blue Bertie's giving chase in second, then Andante, Never Forget Poppy up the inside. Arboretum whipping them in as they out of sight in this Studford Luxury Lodges restricted, and heading towards fence number 7. And it's Seeyouincourt, John Dawson making the running here, just 2 lengths or so in advance of his opponents. They're back into view again. Andante now on terms with Seeyouincourt almost. And then it's Blue Bertie with Never Forget Poppy and Arboretum. Fence number 8. No change. And Seeyouincourt and Andante a length down in second. Then Blue Bertie, followed by Never Forget Poppy. And still at the tail, weighted with Arboretum. Make this turn past the start point and start the freewheeling down the hills towards fence 9. Seeyouincourt, Blue Bertie going the shortest way, the grey Andante wider out, pulled up in the heart last time out, a succession of good runs together this season, which improved really. Andante, Never Forget Poppy with a red cap Arboretum, weighted with fence number 10. No change in the order. Blue Bertie is on the first circuit, a little bit indifferent with his jumping there. So they come past us, and very well grouped indeed, the 5 runners. You can chuck a big horse blanket over them and cover them all. But it's Seeyouincourt, a narrow lead, a bit of scrimmaging on the turn there. Dante almost lost his back end, and Never Forget Poppy came out worse of the argument. And Phil Greaves looking over his shoulder, having a conversation with Chris Dawson aboard Arboretum. Not sure how friendly that conversation might have been. They raced towards the open ditch for the final time, and Seeyouincourt leads Andante, Blue Bertie and Arboretum over the ditch. That was the order. Never Forget Poppy, just a slight mistake at the back, and is driven now by Max Johnson to try and stay in the race as they jump the next one. Seeyouincourt, Andante, Arboretum, Chris Dawson looks to be going pretty well aboard the favourite. Blue Bertie's driven for dear life, and Never Forget Poppy is also ridden along, so they meet the rising ground and race towards the 5th from the finish. Seeyouincourt yet to be headed, made all so far, and led by a couple of lengths under John Dawson. Arboretum and his brother Chris loom large in second. They're followed by Andante and Jack Teal, 2 or 3 lengths then to Blue Bertie, and finally Never Forget Poppy. Indian file they race, out of sight, swinging left-handed all the time, and towards the 4th last here in the Studford Luxury Lodges restricted race. And it's still Seeyouincourt, John Dawson. Arboretum yet to play his hand under Chris Dawson. The men's riders race this season looks sewn up pretty much, unless Chris rides a lot of winners on the last day. William Easterby, with his success in the latest race, seems to have put that to bed, and it still remains Seeyouincourt here. Seeyouincourt, 3 lengths to Arboretum in second as they jump the third last. ANDDANTE's 2 lengths away further than in third. Then Blue Bertie, and never forget Poppy, has been pulled up with 3 fences to jump. So they're turning for home, and Seeyouincourt made all, if anything, extending his advantage as they take the final turn. Seeyouincourt now probably 6 or 8 lengths in front of ANDDANTE. Arboretum didn't find as much as it looked as though he might have done half a mile back or so. They race on down towards the second last. Seeyouincourt at it now. 3 lengths to the good over ANDDANTE. Could have got a better jump there when trying to close. Arboretum jumped it really poorly and then he stopped almost to nothing. Here's the final fence. Seeyouincourt, 4 lengths back to ANDDANTE in second. Arboretum over in third. I think that's the way they'll finish as they meet the rising ground here. Seeyouincourt, John Dawson keeping it up to his rate, up to his work here. ANDDANTE gamely keeping on in second, but Seeyouincourt the winner here. Seeyouincourt the winner. ANDDANTE finishing in second. Arboretum fairly tied in third, and then Blue Bertie fourth.